Hello, people. I'm here with your boy, Adekunle.
Adekunle.
How's it going?
It's all right.
Congratulations, finalist.
Thank you. Thank you.
How does it feel the morning after not to win?
Feels quiet.
How so?
There's no alarm. There's nobody shouting. Who left this plate here? Who is in the bathroom? It's just very quiet.
Yeah. What did you feel in the moment when you heard your name?
Come on. That's really what came to my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, finally it's over.
Yeah.
This may sound weird, but winning would have been nice, but I actually didn't come to win the morning.
What did you come to do?
Came to find myself.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it took longer than I expected, but I actually did.
Let's get into the season. I like to start these interviews with this question about, what you thought when you went into the house. Knowing you especially are a fan of the show. You've watched every season like you always said. So you kind of probably knew what to expect. You walk in and there's two levels. You can't find your roommates. Then you realize you're competing against him and a different level or a different house. What did you think of the season and the twists and just how different it was?
Honestly, the first thing that came to my mind was this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Because we speculated, I think, the entire night. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see Cypher at some point. I'm like, yeah, there's probably another room there because I know they always have another part. And the doors didn't come up the night, didn't come up, and the next day I'm like, okay, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. New characters, new people. Quite a number of them are crazy. It was fun. Actually, seeing Hermes made it a bit lighter because I recognized Hermes before I came into this. I'm like, okay, this will be fun.
Let's go into when you were in level 1 and the relationships you formed in there. Let's start with Allison. That was quite early on. It looked like something was brewing there. And then there was like an abrupt sort of stop from Allison. What did you feel for her at the time?
At the time, with all the chaos and madness in the house, Allison was more like a safe comfort zone. She stood out from every other person in the house. So it was possible for me to have a sensible conversation with Allison. She was one person I could actually relate to.
So did you like her enough to want to have something serious?
Serious
Or
in
were
the
you
house
just
or serious
in the
outside
house?
the
I
house?
mean, or were you just
I did have a conversation.
because you're like
with her.
talking like it was an option you were whittling down.
No, I did have and I think that's even what scared her or chased her away. I know there was one time we had a conversation. I just told her that I don't have the energy to be going back and forth. I know that I might look it, but I'm not that guy. If I'm already comfortable talking to you, if you're going to be in this house for the period that we're going to be in, and I don't know how long that will be. And I told her that, yeah, I am starting to like you. And I just want us to be together. I guess it came off as me coming on too strong too early on, and it scared her. Abrupt stop.
Another interesting friendship wave was you and Rachel.
That one
You guys were
pained me.
friends. It looks like at a point maybe there were emotions involved, and then it almost became instant hate. And then up until the end as well, there was still a fight in the kitchen. I think a day or two before she left. What was that?
My friendship with Rachel, I say, is one of the ones that hurt me the most in the house. When she came into the house, I was the one who took her bags out of the storeroom. At least I helped her. She was looking for a bed. Diana gave up her bed for her. We didn't even start speaking until we moved to the multicolor house, and it took some days. She just kept on complaining. Maybe she was just joking. She said, nobody wants to cuddle me, this one, that one, I'm all alone. And then Giddy Fire said something about, oh, you guys have the same birthday. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Basis for conversation.
Yeah.
And that's where we started talking. The first conversation we had, it had something to do with about how she sees life on a 50-50. She lives things that could be positive, it could be negative. I'm like, okay, you know what, this is going to be an interesting person to speak with. At some point, I'm like, you know what, let's see how it goes. Then we had the close-up task. Big Brother made us have a ship name. It was Adele. Shegs was always Adele this, Adele that. People in the house were always Adele. It started to seem like the conversation in the house was pushing that narrative. I'm like, okay, you know what? Don't fight it. Let's see where this goes. Then we started eating on the same plate. I could tell at some point that it was something that was forced. Then one pool party, I'll say again, I'm like Alpha. And then she said something about the dynamic, the friendship that me and Giddy Fire have would make it impossible for her to have anything to do with it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we're going to be friends? And she's like, yes, friends. And that's what it was until recently at the dinner. When I'm like, okay. But before then, we had one task, the pocket task. Her and Giddy Fire, they made a comment and I expressed that I was disappointed in it and they justified it. It didn't rub off. Both of them, my friendship with them actually really did hurt me because these were two people that I think I bonded with very well. And when they justified it and they were like, yeah, it's not like that, everything. All right, cool, no problem. Another reason to step back and watch things from a bird's eye view. And I just started seeing her being different. The whole complicated thing that she talked about, I started to see differently. I just thought about, you know what, there's no point, Jerry. Then her and Giddy Fire started getting close.
The one narrative that seemed to have run through the season in the house, and for quite a number of people outside, was the fact that you were probably the biggest game player this season.
My goodness.
You read the room, you knew how to interact, you knew when to stop conversations, you knew who to talk to, you knew when to talk about people, you knew who to talk to people about people. You know, it was almost like this guy is so calculating.
I love
You'd obviously impressed a few people, which is why you got to where you got to, but it also probably turned people off like, is this really Adekunle that we're seeing? Or are we just seeing a housemate playing a game? And just being extremely strategic. How strategic were you this season on this show? Because it came across like you were quite, you know, you even said it a few times here now, how you, okay, I'm not doing this because I don't want to be seen as this, or I don't want to give the impression of this. Or it's almost like your every move was intentional. Is that true?
By week 5, yes.
Okay.
When we were in the multicolor house and Sheg said, when they had the full-on conversation that this guy is working with a strategy, then Dotun also said, let me not lie to you. It seemed like, I'm like, okay, you know what? If everybody is thinking I have a strategy, maybe I don't fuck up. I did have a conversation with Big Brother about it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I didn't come into the house with a strategy. Like, because then everybody, I'm like, okay, you know, maybe everybody in the house has a strategy. And maybe that's a good thing. Because, yeah, it's a game show at the end. I didn't realize I was on a game show until much later on. Okay, so yes, so
maybe I should bring mine out.
Let me now think of a strategy. But then it was a question of if I start working with a strategy now, would it not look like I'm fake and everything? So I decided to take a back seat and observe.
I think you stood out as a housemate.
Yeah,
and I agree with a lot of people who said that you probably read the game the best. The interpretation is open to anybody and how they want to receive it, but it was very obvious that you understood what you were there for and you took each day as it should be. So thanks for giving us a great show, and definitely wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Going forward, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Adekunle.
The barbecue man.